Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting, interesting, let me think, different episode of, Don't, Feed, the, Animals podcast with your host, as always.
Are you okay?
James. It was like, you know, when you get those little ticks and you just gonna slap the back of your head and just get back into it. That was me. That was me just now. Sorry. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you back. It's always nice to have friends, family, loved ones all around. And thank you for joining us for another beautiful episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. And here with me, I have returning my man, Orvil.
Hola, señoras and señores.
Now, this is going to be an interesting topic-driven podcast. For that, I brought a specialist of all things K-pop, Miss Sonya. This is where you say something.
Hey, yo, what's up? I listen to a lot of K-pop, so hopefully I can say some stuff about it.
Yes.
Everyone has an opinion.
Yes. We are talking, that's right, folks. You heard it. We are talking about K-pop this episode. In this episode, we're going to dive into all things Korean ladyboy dancing. No, I'm just kidding. Not ladyboys. That's like maybe Filipino pop, maybe?
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
I mean, they might look a little lady, but it's pretty.
Yo,
we're about it.
Don't lie, I went to a convention one time and I saw a bunch of like K-pop pictures and stuff like that, and I was just like, yo, those chicks are hot. They're all boys. And I'm like,
always think that
they're still really hot.
They're hot, every single one.
Those chicks are fine as fuck. But before we get into that, last podcast, I had my buddy Rojas on, and we talked about Halloween stuff and spooky stuff and spooby stuff. And I did say I was going to go out of my way to try to listen to, or watch a horror movie franchise. And just a little recap real quick on that. I said that one of the franchises that I was going to watch was the Candyman franchise. And I just want to touch on it real quick because I've watched 1 through 3 in one day. I have thoughts about it.
Candyman?
The movie Candyman. So have any of you guys...
Like 50 Cent, I take you to the candy shop?
No, not that.
No, not about...
Not that. Wrong
no.
Black guy.
Oh, my bad. So, different. Okay. Cool. Talk about it more. All right, my bad.
No, you're good.
Pardon the interruption.
No, it's all good, man. So none of you've heard of it? You definitely didn't hear it, Orville. And Sonya, have you ever heard of the movie Candyman?
No, I know it's about a black guy.
It's about a black
guy.
Guy.
Just in the name, you just
it
know.
It wasn't in the name, but I just think it's like a tall black guy.
It is.
Oh, well, exactly.
Tall black guy.
And scary.
So, yes, Candyman is a movie that came out, if I'm not mistaken, in 1992. 1992, basically, it's a very awesome movie. Very, like, I want to say, like, a modern Phantom of the Opera. It's interesting in the sense that it does star, like, the main, like, I guess, monster, if you will, or the main, like, Candyman is a black actor, a black guy. I'll show these guys a picture of him right now.
Who directed it?
Let me see who directed it. It's based on something that Clive Barker did, but I don't think he directed it. Clive Barker did like Hellraiser and all that stuff, so it's very similar. It's actually based off of a book. The Forbidden is the book. But let me just show you the picture of the guy, and there he is. He is. Oh, that's a good one. That's him.
Okay.
So he's a big black man with a trench coat with a hook for a
dope.
hand, and basically his chest cavity is infested with bees.
Oh.
Okay.
Not.
So I will tell you.
So he's sweet.
So here's the thing. So the movie is fantastic. The first movie basically follows this young I guess college graduate who's writing a thesis on urban legends, and one of the urban legends is that Candyman is one of those you say his name 5 times in the mirror and he will appear type urban legends, where everybody knew somebody who do it, who would go look in the mirror, say his name 5 times, and then they end up getting killed. So she's investigating all of that, kind of finding a link between that and these crimes that were they weren't crimes, they were urban legends of like everybody had a story. Like she ends up like going into the ghetto because it takes place in Chicago, so she ends up going to the projects and basically finding out that Candyman wasn't real, and it was a guy who was terrorizing people with a hook using the name of Candyman. It's through like very technical stuff, and they do a really good job explaining how that's happening, and like it's just really just a really bad guy who uses the name, to kill people. But with her debunking the legend of Candyman, finds her to come across actual Candyman. And Candyman is real, and he comes into her, and it's so funny because every time they show him appearing on screen with her, they always show like that lighting effect where like everything's dark but there's light across their eyes, like if they're like hypnotized. And it's funny because I looked into the details of that, and they talk about in the commentary how they were actually hypnotizing the actress to get the reaction of that. So she's literally always got like her eyes are all extremely watery when she sees him. He's talking it because he'll call her name. Her name is Helen. He'd be like, Helen.
Why is he scary?
Why is he scary?
Yeah, like what's the fear factor other than
The fear factor
that's a great
he's
question.
a giant black man with a hook.
Oh, got it. Okay.
on the bloody stump.
Look, some people might dig that. You know what I'm
So,
saying? Like,
the story of Candyman, which is told in a like really quick expedition that she has with like this professor, is that the Candyman it was in the 1800s, and his father developed something to mass produce shoes, so he actually grew up rich, even though during a time of slavery.
Okay.
But he wasn't, he was free. He knew he was not a slave.
Okay.
And he was an artist, and he was trying to think of the word, but he was asked to, when they look out for you to do a drawing of this daughter. Okay. And he wanted him to encapsulate the purity of his daughter. The daughter falls in love, and they fall in love, and then he finds out he gets the daughter pregnant. So they pretty much lynch him. Like they gather him up. He hires a group full of hooligans. They saw off his right hand with a rusty saw blade. And then they go to a tree and grab honeycomb and rub the honey all over his body, and then he gets engulfed by the swarming bees.
that's wild.
Okay.
So now he basically is alive through legend, and he just embraces that. And him as the Candyman, he wants his legend and his legacy of his pain and his torture to live on.
Right.
So when Helen was debunking all of this, unbeknownst to her, she was debunking the story of Candyman, and doing so actually caused him to appear, and he murdered, and there's a whole bunch of things. It's a must see, that first movie at least.
Okay.
Moving on real quick to the other two, they suck. They're trash. They ruin the fucking whole series. The second one is a little bit more redeemable because they actually show what happened to him, but they do change up the story. It doesn't take place in Chicago. It takes place in New Orleans. They make Candyman a slave instead of a free man. But that doesn't really make a difference. Who's just an artist, and that's for the most part it. And then it just takes place in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, and the main character is the relative of Candyman. It's some white girl that's related to him, and just tried to. I mean, it did a good job making him more a sympathetic, tragic monster, I guess.
Okay.
But that's it. And the third one was dog shit. The third one was like you could tell that first off the production just got shitty. They don't have the beautiful score that they have in the beginning, like the whole series that the first and second movies had. They just do like scary music, shitty acting, shitty premise. It is just trash. I couldn't recommend it less. But with that being said, Jordan Peele is actually trying to make that movie.
Oh, he is?
Yes, which is super exciting. He actually wants to get Tony Todd in that role again.
That would be awesome.
And that's the guy who
I feel like he
wants to get the same guy to do it. So that's exciting, and I'm wondering what his take on it is. But
it's gonna be good. Probably.
What made the first movie so great, from my opinion, is just the fact that it wasn't like an obvious, like it did have its fair share of jump scares or whatever, but it was like smart in the sense that it was like it wasn't just a killer. It was more scary, like, I mean, not to sound racist or anything, but like when she was in the ghetto parts of town, like seriously, like,
because it was like
she's a white woman walking around the projects in the 90s, and I know about that shit, and you're just like, she's gonna get killed by one of these motherfuckers before she's gonna get killed by no goddamn Candyman, and you don't really even know that he's there until halfway into the film, where they kind of like make his presence known, and then you're like, holy fuck, he's real. And you're like, whoa, because everything else is pretty scary, but it's real. So when they actually get supernatural, you're just like, yikes. And they don't do it in like a spooky way. Like he's not like I'm gonna fucking kill you type monster. He's more like a mesmerizing, just totally like, just the lines that they have in the movie, like the things that he says, and you're just like, whoa. He's like, be my victim, and I'm like, whoa. And then he's like, just accept who you are, and join me in the pain, and I assure you the pain will be exquisite. And I'm like, ooh,
exquisite.
Yeah, like he uses
fancy.
like lines like that, and you're just like, yee.
Well spoken, scary,
very well
creepy. I don't know.
Well spoken.
I feel like either he's gonna kill me or rape me, one or the
Well,
other.
I was gonna say romance you, like it's gonna be nice. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be bad. It's gonna be exquisite.
There you go.
I love that for you. Okay, shout out Grant.
But anyways, that was my synopsis of Candyman series. Just watch the first one. It's on Netflix right now, so go ahead and do that. I did have Insidious and Jaws and Scream and Halloween. We'll see what I do by next episode, because I can tell you I am very behind. I'm probably gonna just watch the Halloween franchise and then go from there, because by the time the next episode comes out, it will probably be around Halloween time, so I'll probably just skip all those other ones and just go straight to Halloween.
I would skip Jaws for sure.
Yeah, I mean, after part one, it's gonna just be shit. You know what I mean? Like, Jaws is not even worth it.
Insidious is kind of creepy, if anything, but Jaws. No.
Yeah. So, I don't know of a better way to segue.
K-pop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
So the reason why even this podcast is happening with Sonya is because she is. Oh, I guess. I mean, is this a coworker series? I kind of like dropped the whole coworker series.
Man,
shit.
we friends.
I mean, we're all amongst friends now, so it's like, most of the people I know I work with, and the beautiful thing about having people that I work with on is that everybody I work with, you don't get to choose who you work with. And with that being said,
what a great way to introduce me. Like, ooh, I don't get to choose to work with her. I'm so there.
I mean,
but I mean that in a good way. I mean that in the way
Yeah.
that you get different types of mindsets and different walks of life getting to interact.
That's true.
And you learn to cope and, deal with, or just accept and embrace the differences. And I am embracing the differences right now, because I found a way to be interested in a topic I never thought I would be interested, which is Korean pop music.
high five, Sonya. I'm proud of you. Way to go.
So
Professional fangirl right here.
seriously. So Sonya is a huge, the biggest.
She's
K-pop
obsessed.
fan
Her
I've ever
words.
seen. Now, is she the biggest ever? Probably not, because she's sane. to a degree. I'm sure that you've seen fandoms worse than yours. Huh?
I feel like I'm awful sometimes. Sometimes I think I push it and I go to like one concert. I'm like, no, actually, I'm kind of normal. I'm like kind of good.
Saying?
She only travels to Chicago.
Do you
to
have
go
any
see.
examples of over the edge or over the top? Just give me a little idea of a. So, anyways, for those who don't know what K-pop is, it's exactly what I said: Korean pop music. It's Korean pop music. Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, New Kids on the Block, all of those that we know as us American white people, but kicking it to 10 and high gear and very more.
Everyone got makeup on, even the camera
No,
people.
but here's the thing about the pop music in general. Like we had like our time, and we don't represent pop that like that though. Like
True.
the pop group.
It's just different
That's what I mean,
cultures.
because there's groups, but we've had it. Like we had New Kids on the Block, and then that was in the. But you can even go further back and say like the Jackson 5 were like a boy band, because they were.
Probably the best example.
It's probably the
I
best.
think a lot of like, if I think of like groups, American groups, I'm like kind of whack compared to K-pop. Not to
Motown
be
is basically like,
But
It's true.
yeah.
Because they're on a 10. Like they fully embrace that form of
great.
music, and what makes a K-pop band group? They're mostly like boy bands, right? Like mostly K-pop is not even boy bands, but the groups. That's what I meant to say.
I only really like boy groups.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of girl groups. I think maybe they're not as big as, let's say, BTS. That's gonna be the top one, biggest fangirl there. But like the next tier is probably like 2 girl groups that are really, really big. It's just a different type of music. Their songs are more like bubblegum pop, like very peppy, like haha.
Very cheesy, very
like their dances are very simple. It's not
robotic.
Like it's a different vibe completely, because there's different like genres obviously within K-pop. So
well, another reason why I was bringing it up, because pop music is it could be anything, and we usually have solo pop artists. Do they have a good array of solo pop artists?
they have solo artists.
Yeah.
It's literally just pop music in Korea. The difference, I would say, is mostly the fact that people come from companies like talent agencies. They're not just like, I started singing on YouTube and then I became really big.
Yeah.
You auditioned for a company and then you became big. Not saying that you can't start on YouTube, but you probably won't make it because it's just so competitive.
It sounds more corporate to me. But it sounds more corporate, but it also sounds like the way they do things over there is more structured, and it's kind of like, duh, that's what you do. You want to do it, you're gonna go to step A, B, C, and then see if you get to D.
I mean, everything has pros and cons.
Yeah.
So either way you do it, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're a young Korean person. You just want to be a singer one day. You want to be an idol. I hope you auditioned for a talent agency when you're like 12, because they started around like maybe like 11, 12. They go up to like 18, but if you're like older, you have to be super talented when you join. Like you have to be talented, or you're probably never gonna debut.
Wow,
because you go through training for like maybe like 6 years. Some people like 10 years, because they're a talent agency. Like they're here to like help you. You become talented. You train in like a lot of things. Like you can be a dancer, singer, actor, model. You take like English lessons, because that's gonna be big. You do like a variety of things. You
have a diet.
Yeah, you have to go on an intense diet.
I'm sure.
So
it's
bad.
wild.
It's like that bullshit when you go to the mall now, like here, and it's like, you want to be, but it's bullshit. It's all a scam. And
No, they probably only eat like lean chicken.
But there, it's like actually works.
Yeah.
They mill them, and they're like, yeah, you go.
Because the beauty standards are just probably why K-pop is so big, is that they have to be beautiful, and they have to be like skinny. You have to meet the requirements, and like plastic surgery isn't viewed as negatively there.
No, it's not.
So
What?
Shout
so
out
much easier.
to my homeboy Ed, who one time we went to a Korean barbecue place, and and like it was so funny. There was K-pop playing and like one of the projectors behind us, and I just hear him talking to like my fiance, and he's just like, you see that girl right there? She don't look like that in real life. And I was just like, yo, my boy's Korean, so he's like, all that's fake. Everything
That's
about what
wild.
you see is fake, and I'm just like, yo, he's shitting on this shit so hard. And he's just like, he's like, that's all fake. They don't look like that. Like in real, like he's like, you think Korean girls look like that? Korean girls don't look like that. I'm like,
No.
holy shit.
There's so much makeup, like plastic surgery. I mean, part like natural looks is a part of it. That's sort of like they get them young.
Yeah.
Just to see if they're gonna be pretty when they get older. You know what
That's
I mean?
wild,
No, you can just
bro.
mold them like a lump of clay. Just, oh well, this one grew. Oh, we'll just snip this off and.
But at the same time, like these girls, like because it's so like, oh yeah, like plastic surgery is such a normal thing. They're probably planning on it anyways. Like, oh, when I'm 18, I'm gonna get double eyelid surgery. I'm gonna get jaw shaving. Like it's just more of a common thing.
That
it
is
a tactic
wild.
if like it's known,
That's
like,
so
oh, this idol got
crazy.
this surgery, they're gonna be like, so they're not really pretty. Like a lot of them like do post like baby photos. Like there's a lot of like discussions about it. So a lot of idols don't straight up say it. I think there's only like 2 idols that I can think of where like their face was different, and like everyone knows that. If anything, it's always just like a slight like nose job, a slight like the jaw shaving one gets me, but a slight jaw shaving.
That's
Or-
nuts.
But double eyelid surgery is probably
Common.
super common.
That's so
Like
weird.
everyone gets it.
Double eyelid.
Well,
surgery.
because Asians have.
Like this crease right here.
Yeah.
They want the crease.
Yeah.
This crease. That. Like,
Yeah, they want it.
They want it so bad. There's like tape
They want to have.
where like you can just put it in for one day and then you have the crease and then like it'll go away. But if it's just easy to get and that's what makes you feel good, then like why not? You're gonna feel pretty. It's like if
Right.
if someone just puts on makeup and they're like, oh, this makes me feel pretty, why not just have it?
Right.
Because this will make me feel good. Like I don't personally, unless it's like super extreme, I don't really think badly of plastic surgery. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, of course not. But it's sad because there's always see the thing about the funny line of plastic surgery is that you always want to walk the line of like you want to have it but you don't want to look like you had it, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
Gosh.
And there's that line between some people like being like, yeah, I had this done and that done. You're like, the reaction I'm sure that I hope that people who do get plastic surgery, at least well done plastic surgery, is get, really? Like, you did get that? Instead of being like, yeah, I could tell. Why?
Your
'Cause he's
face
like,
is
"I can't tell."
melting.
He's like, I can't tell if you're smiling or angry or whatever. 'Cause he's just like, what? What do you mean?
But you know, for the most part, these idols aren't like that.
No.
Except for one. I could think of
So,
one that's
what got
actually
you
like that.
into K-pop? Like, was it just growing up, or was it just?
You know, I was on YouTube one day.
Uh-huh.
How old?
This is probably between 8th grade and 9th grade.
Okay.
I transitioned from middle school into high school. I was
Okay.
really into this one YouTuber. It was an Australian Asian YouTuber. I thought she was so cool. I didn't know a lot of like Asian people growing up though, and I myself, I'm Asian.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, like this is so cool, like Asian representation, you know, like I guess
You're also a
We
Jew.
can do it
so-
too.
I was like, I love it. I really liked her. I thought she was so funny. At the time, I think she was top for Australia. Like her name was Community Channel. I don't know. Just throw that out there. I don't know.
Okay.
But she was like one of the biggest ones, so I was like really happy. And then I just saw someone post something to her, and it was like, oh, these guys are singing to you. I think they edited her photo on all their faces, but that's a different discussion. But I just watched it, and I was like, this is funny. These Asian boys, huh? You know, they all look alike. Because I never saw Asian people before that much. I've seen, like, maybe 4 in my middle school. I was the only one in my elementary school.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, these Asian boys, they all look the same. It's kind of funny. And I was just, like, singing it at my house. I was like... and I was just into it. So I kept watching it, and I would watch their other videos, and I was like, that one's kind of hot, though. Like, that's my favorite.
And
that's
then
my bias.
Sonya became a woman.
And then that's how every fangirl fandom starts.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you get sucked in.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, another question is too, because you're not Korean,
Yeah, obviously.
So why K-pop and not J-pop? Like, cause when I was growing, is there like something came first? Because when I was growing up, it was J-pop. It was Japanese pop, and I was very familiar with that when I was in. I'm older than you probably by like 10 years, so I know when I was growing up that it was like Japanese pop.
J-pop, it was big. I watched
big. Now, did it die? Is it still a thing?
It's probably not as big as K-pop. K-pop has definitely dominated more.
But it's something that happened, though, right? Like
J-pop
it wasn't
is
like
something that happened.
Okay.
And I think even today, like the biggest group would be AK-48. The premise of that group is that every area of Japan, forgive me if I'm wrong because it's like slight knowledge.
Yeah.
Every area of Japan has their own idols, tiny idols, and they just rotate. Like just go around. So like you want to see a K-pop artist? Yeah, there's one in your town. Like you can see them perform today. Like that's the point. But there's so many of them where they don't have to be as trained.
Oh.
So their skills aren't as on par. And the only way I really like realized this is from a show where they take both K-pop trainees and like AK-48 members and they put them on the show, and they just weren't as talented.
Oh.
In my opinion, not to start fan wars, but they weren't as talented as the Koreans, and it's just because like they didn't have to be, like you don't have to be. You just like it was kind of like those groups too. They got paid as like almost like any part-time job. So it was very easy for the girls, in theory, to be in the group.
I'm just going to do a parallel real quick, bringing it back on American vision of talent and idolization. And from what my perceived idea of how Korea, or even just how the K-pop model, for an American idol to be an American idol, usually it is beauty and all that, so that's checked off there. But usually it's like a coming up thing. Like usually, like the one that you always appreciate like the person who like didn't really have anything and they were given an opportunity. Yeah. Like it was almost like it was magic. Yeah. But and I'm not saying that that's what happens. But that is always the perceived.
No, you're right.
Path that we like as Americans. We're like, they used to work at 7-Eleven and now look at them. They're on every billboard around 7-Eleven. You know what I mean?
Really, anytime you watch AGT, they hit you with that 1 minute story beforehand. You're like, I just kind of want to see.
Now, how much is that a manufactured thing? Because it almost seems, at least by the way you're describing it to me, that they're pretty much up front. Like, we packaged these people yesterday. You wanted a couple more? We got a truck coming in with like 15 more dudes coming in. They're all ready to train. We got a couple lined up for after surgery.
Is it really any different? Like,
no, it's not.
Is it though?
It's not.
Because everyone has their personal life. We're just not like. Wow.
I agree, though. It's the same. But what I'm trying to say is that we know it, but we still want to feel like so and so. Like everybody's a Kelly Clarkson, like, where they're like, oh, they went on the show and that's how they got famous and they were always talented and blah, blah, blah. We don't know how much fucking training and efforts and I'm not saying she had surgery, but like at least, the effort it took for her to be picked as number one. True. And that's a show. What about all the other people who didn't have the ability for a show that were pop artists? You know what I mean? Like New Kids on the Block didn't have a show. Backstreet Boys didn't have a show. NSYNC didn't have a show. But they had to, what channels and what things did they have to do and training? It's probably exactly the same as K-pop, but what you're describing is straight up from the fucking CEO seat. Like from the business. So one thing that you've told me before is that there's actual companies that are known. And if you mind touching up on those companies for me, to at least you let people understand that these companies are the ones that like help make these people came from them, where it doesn't work that way in America. The way we see it is like this person wants to work for them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
it's a talent agency, so that's
right, but usually
that's their whole point.
Talent agency here is bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Like talent
yeah.
agencies are scams that they get women in the mall like to get their kids to fucking be on it. Like your kids really know you want to sign up this paper and give us hundreds of dollars to make headshots and it go nowhere because it's a scam. Where there it's like no, you go in. You're like enlisting. You're enlisting into the fucking army
for music. Like you're gonna learn.
Like
how to sing
over there, everyone's a Justin Bieber. Like they all started at 8 years of age or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
start somewhere. You don't just sing one day and you're like, oh man, I'm fucking great.
They're just not Justin Bieber because Justin's probably the best.
In this company, you're gonna have vocal lessons. You're gonna have dancing lessons. It's probably gonna hurt your feelings a lot more. Because they're not really nice to you.
No.
They're probably going to tell you your shit. There's so many stories where, like, in the company, they have, like, groups. Mm-hmm. And they have an A group. This group is doing good. They have B, C, and D groups. D group is doing shitty. And they'll tell you, like, this group is the bad group. Like, it's hard on their ego.
Jesus Christ.
And, like, not everyone
She was showing me the PowerPoint, and I was like, I cannot believe everything I'm seeing, but it all makes sense.
Because like you have to go through a lot of training, but it's not like literally anyone comes out of it. You know what I mean? It's still like dedication and hard work.
Yeah,
it's just how you want to view it.
Right. It does still sound it doesn't seem as easy as if you were to do it here. Mm-hmm. But it's just the process it seems very different because it's more of like, you can definitely try for it, and if you have the chops, you'll get it. You know what I mean? Where the other thing, it's like, you gotta fucking finagle and see like who you know, and and talk to this guy, and hope that you have a good agent, and he's the guy where they're just like, this is the company. Yeah. This is where you go and enter, and you do whatever you need to do, and if you have what it takes, you'll get it. Yeah. Like you'll get it.
And then in Korea, they have like 8 different MTVs, let's say, like old MTV. Let's bring back old.
I mean, their media is crazy.
So like they have like performance shows like one every week, and I was trying to look at it because I was like, I just watch them on YouTube and I absorb that content. I'm like, oh, I love it. They're dancing, But there's like a different like channel that releases different content every week. You win an award based on sales, different things like that, and so. But not everyone can go on it, obviously. And if you're one of the bigger companies, like you're pretty much always guaranteed a spot. If you're part of SM, YG, JYP, the top 3 companies,
the big 3,
big 3, you're in it. Like that's it. But if you're a part of a lesser company, it might be really hard for you to get a spot because you're part of a shitty company.
Question: are those your big 3, or is that like?
Yeah, do you even care about the companies? Like, if you know that a band is coming out of a certain company, are you like, it's got to be good? Because
honestly, if it's from those 3, I gotta watch it. Like, I kinda gotta watch it because it's from those 3. The 3 companies are very different. My favorite of those 3, personally, is JYP.
Okay.
His company is like, literally, he says this all the time. Okay, because they're all the names, like they're literally names. Is Park Jin Young is the guy's name.
Okay.
But JYP's company is that everyone sings with a half air sound.
What does that even mean?
So you like sing, but like like you're supposed to just sound airy with your tone, and he wants everyone to sing like that. But everyone's songs are different.
How does that sound like?
Hey
girl. Hey girl.
But that's his point of his company, and you realize that like half everything is kind of different because a lot of JYP artists probably have like more creativity over their own music. That's the big thing.
Right.
So there's one of the bigger groups is a band called Day 6, and they're a rock group.
Cool.
And so one member, Young K, he writes like all the music pretty much. Another band, boy group, Stray Kids, their leader writes all the music. They're in like a group where like 3 of them produces most of their music. So they have a lot more like input into what they do from what I know.
And does it show? Do you appreciate it more? Could you care less if they do?
I appreciate it more if they can produce. Usually my favorites are the ones that produce their own music because it's the less poppy sound.
Yeah.
because I think the ones that probably have the least control would be SM.
Okay.
And SM would be known for being very, very pop music. Very K-pop music. Like, honestly, they're all dancing in a room. They all have these, like, very K-pop outfits. But their music is, because that one is so standardized, that's why that one's probably the biggest. But that's also the company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's also the company that had the recent suicide of Sully about 2 days ago.
Yes.
And the previous suicide of Junghyun, I think about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it just really shows.
So that's the one that kind of like they like manufactured. So it's like it makes you think that. See, that's the thing.
That's so sad.
It's so fucking sad. So for those who don't know, I don't know how to say her name.
So you just say Sully.
Sully, because that's what I read it.
Most people probably
she
don't
was
know how
what
to.
25.
And they said that she unfortunately, like, you know,
She passed
away.
away.
And yeah, man, like, and that's unfortunately, like, before I even read the details, I'm just like, this is probably because of, you know, this.
Hers, honestly, if I had to say anything about hers, though, is because of online bullying against her.
I did read that. I did read a lot of cyberbullying, which is fucking interesting. Because what the fuck are they bullying her about?
That group has disbanded. So she's not in the group anymore. I think she was still part of the company. She had a solo song recently released. But she was known for being more open. So like she was part of like the no bra movement. And a lot of Koreans aren't part of that. She was shown, God forbid, with a Polaroid with her sitting on, like, laying her head on a male friend's lap.
Oh.
Just like being just more comfortable with herself in an American way. And she just got a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
There's a live video where she's just like answering fans' questions, and this guy approached her, and she got like visibly very scared.
Yeah.
So she was being attacked very harshly, and so they haven't confirmed her death. I like literally stalked this every day because I watched her and like it made me feel so bad. I cried. Yeah. But they don't know why she died. It was obviously like some type of suicide, honestly.
No note or anything, right?
They said that they found a notebook, but the notebook didn't say anything of like suicide.
Yeah.
So, and she died of like a cardiac arrest, but she's 25. So
no, right? There's something involved.
Something happened.
Probably took something, or you know.
So
it's
wild.
Terrible. Yeah. That's terrible. I mean, I don't know if we could think if that's like one of the things to blame, but you did say that there were the same company 2 years ago was another one. What was that one about?
Junghyun, I think hers was like honestly like a huge shock. Yeah. I think everyone somewhat knew that he battled with depression, especially the people he worked with. Like they were able to like say like he was depressed and stuff. Yeah. For him, I think he felt like maybe like he was never going to be good enough. And that's definitely from like K-pop standards as well. But
is that company getting any backlash, or I mean, do you think is that company getting any backlash?
I think they're getting backlash for not going after malicious comments. I see a lot of that. So like they're like, oh, you're not caring enough about Sully. I see this thing online that's like they want to do the Sully Act, which is if they're talking about any bad comments online, you have to name drop them. You have to like say who is saying these bad comments online. Yeah. It's so vicious because she was assumed to be pushed to the point of bullying.
Absolutely.
And
trying to think.
But
you don't blame the company though, right? Like in your opinion, like you don't think that they why I mean that, like, in other words, it wasn't stress from that type of. I mean that environment put you in the limelight. Yeah. But is there do you kind of blame them, or do you?
I blame them for being too business. They treat everyone not like people. Right. Which is sad because honestly, like, these people are trying so hard, but like I said, the companies are kind of mean. Yeah. They care about money. They care about production. Right. Like, people's health. People from that company has left because of like health issues and stuff because they weren't taking care of the heart disease or things like that they had. Oh, right. So they're just like that company's probably gonna try to make the most profit out of. So they need some more like ethical.
Do you think they need any or more? Maybe they should get attacked a little bit more so they can kind of make those changes in order to maybe go into a better direction.
Yeah, I think that company's definitely getting backlash though. But recently they are trying to make like a American debut.
Oh.
Very recent. I think it was like a week ago. And they released like a group that has like they're speaking English and like they're on Ellen. Their debut was on Ellen.
What's their names?
The name of the group is Super M.
Super M.
And as most
Super
Americans
M.
joke, they call it sperm because it looks like sperm when you read it really quick. And so I kind of wanted to say sperm when I had to admit to this, and it was very hard for me not to. And there was a petition for them not to call it Super M, but SM Entertainment was too egotistic to change it.
No. They have totally different. I mean, it's just they do have totally different. I mean, they're another part of the world, so they have a different mindset.
I feel though like the pressure that they feel is probably similar to the pressure that the artists here feel too.
I was gonna say that too.
There's always someone like shaving their heads or doing something wild. So.
No, it gets to you. It's amazing.
Talking to trees or
to go
whatever.
into that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's rough. Like who would like want to try to like be that knowing all that? Wait a minute, didn't you?
So, that was the company.
That was the company too. So we have a little insight on that because I heard that you tried to be a part of one of those companies, Sonya.
Oh, it's very interesting.
So walk us through that process of trying to work for this company.
Young Sonya.
How far did you go? How far? Like at a level from 1 to 10, what level would you say that you were at? 10 being like, look at me, I'm a part of a group.
Obviously not 10.
No, obviously not 10.
I think I made it to a strong 3 because of the process.
So
I think I was going to make it to 4? Absolutely not.
Okay.
I just want that to be clear.
Okay.
Little Sonya was in it for the fact that she knew she was going to go to New York because she does that. You know, her family's from New York. Her dad's from New York. She goes back.
Nice.
And nearby was an SM Entertainment audition.
Okay.
She read things where everyone was like, "Oh yeah, the auditions, they're giving out posters and stuff." And Sonya's like, "Merchandise."
How old are you? I
was like 16.
Okay.
I love
that age. You're that age. Is that too old for them? For that company?
I felt like I was too old.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like I was kind of too old to audition.
Yikes.
Especially if I was someone with no talent and also not of the same ethnicity. It was kind of hard. But I went, something that they did was like you had to submit photos of yourself online.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, like you come in for the audition, you have this time if you pass, but maybe everyone passed, but it's like if you passed. I passed, I guess.
Okay.
I made it there. I got there. My dad was there. My dad was trying to teach me how to sing. My dad actually knows how to sing. I do not know how to sing.
Okay.
I did not learn how to sing.
Did he try teaching you?
Oh, yeah, he tried so hard. He was so happy. My dad's like a musical man. So like just pitching this idea to him, he loved it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
He loved
that's
it.
awesome.
Convincing.
My dad's also the white one in my family, though, so he like truly doesn't understand like what I'm going through.
He's one of the chosen ones.
He was just like, you know what, like, just gonna put my little girl out there, like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a good
see
dad.
what happens.
I'm gonna teach her how to sing. Did not learn how to sing. Went all the way to the point where I was standing in front of like in a line of 10 people in front of this Asian lady who did not speak English. I look her dead in the eyes, sing for 1 minute, and then walk away. That part was kind of whack, but I did get a poster out of it. I'm pretty sure it was XO because they just came out at the time, and I was like the hugest XO fan because I was like, I watched this group debut, and so I was like trying to get it so hard, but I did get an XO poster, so that was dope.
Went to try to be a K-pop star. All I got was his poster. They should have made a shirt out of that.
Honestly, I still have like a sticker. It says SM Entertainment A like 210.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your?
That's my badge.
Yeah, it's your badge.
It proves that I did that once.
Yeah.
Sort of a bad memory when I look at it, but gotta live through it.
Hey, you tried.
You have a BTS shirt, right?
I do. This is actually a
She's
BTS
wearing
outfit. Because they wear this on stage. I actually just copied it completely. They wear their
even the socks.
the Love Yourself outfit. They wear these like jeans.
I was gonna say, Sonya, you're just wearing jeans and a black t-shirt.
That's what they wear during like one of their encore stages. And I just mimic it.
They keep it.
This is my cosplay. Actually, it's my Halloween outfit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually a BTS member. I'm gonna
Sonya,
Nice.
these square socks are part of the outfit. The people need to know.
Probably.
This is grid socks.
Yeah.
They wear those too.
Pop. I kind
Yeah.
of like hit it there. I'm like did my best. You know. I tried. Bad experience.
That's super BTS right there.
That's it.
BTS also sound kind of like
Behind the scenes.
kind of like yeah.
I think we go
that's
by
what it. That's what it.
beyond
That's what I
the
think of.
scenes now.
But it's beyond the scenes. But I BTS is usually behind the scenes.
True.
And then originally it stood for a Korean word, which I am going to butcher.
Okay, here we go.
Cut it up.
Bangtan
Huh?
Who?
Legit.
which stands for Bulletproof Boy Scouts,
Oh.
which is all the reason why they did not want to go by that anymore because it was
Right.
kind of lame.
Yeah, it's lame.
They made a lot of mistakes in their career. The leader called himself Rap Monster. Now he just goes by R.
Well, it's because they
How
start
many
them at
members are
8
in
years
BTS?
old.
What?
How many members are in BTS?
7.
This is a lot. It's a squad.
7
Dude,
members.
like if they start at 8 years old or whatever, like mentally, dude,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like you're same thing. Michael Jackson,
But I'm
he
not
had a
thinking that though. I'm thinking that like they didn't really come up with their names though.
probably not.
I mean,
I
maybe.
think RM chose his name. Did RM choose his hairstyle at first? No. Why? Because he was kind of tan.
Uh-huh.
And when you're a tannish rapper, they go, "You're kind of black." And they gave him an afro.
That's messed up.
That is messed up.
Whoa.
That's actually awful cuz like whenever like a tanner idol is there cuz you have to have
Yeah.
porcelain white skin, you know, pale as fuck.
Yeah.
Look like a
Yeah.
vampire.
They get backfired. They call him the Black Pearl of the group. They say that you're like the black one. They say like I know like RM speaks English and they're
That's super racist.
one time they straight up were like, "Oh yeah, you speak ghetto English," and I was like, "Damn, don't do this. You
Korean.
can't get stand if you do this." You look really actually. Black
That's
K-pop
wild.
fans, y'all the strongest.
Oh,
That's
no.
wild.
Those are the worst. Just listening to it. So if you're black and you like K-pop, you're like, you
I know a few.
Yeah.
I know about 3 or 4, 5,
truly do.
What?
5
5 what?
black people that love K-pop.
K-pop?
He knows like 5 black people.
Yeah.
That love K-pop. Most of my friends are probably black.
Yeah. I mean,
If I think about it.
hey, you know, that's what they say. So another thing, I kind of want to see any examples that you have for me, because you know we do this thing on Don't Feed the Animals I like to call the video roundup, and on the video roundup I like to post all these liked videos on YouTube and have everyone follow along and go down twice. One more. There we go, and that's all the history. So on there, these will be on the Don't Feed the Animals YouTube channel, which I will link in the description, so you can follow along with the playlist that we show, and yeah, you can see what we're going to be looking at in these examples. So any particular order, give me some. So because I haven't seen K-pop music videos, and are these any of them current? Like
some of them. This one is not. I actually wanted to hit it with the realest throwback, which is Girls' Generation, one of the biggest girl groups at the time.
Okay.
G, the biggest music video. It only has 200 million views now, but
that's another thing I have to say. Holy fuck! I mean, if you don't know about K-pop, you don't know.
You live under a rock.
You live under a rock, because it's a thing. It's a thing that is, and here, not even because of Korea. No. Here. I mean, real quick, all the concerts that you've been to have been in big venues. It's not like little nothings. Yeah,
I think BTS was, because I saw BTS twice, and both times I managed to see them in a stadium. So the first time wasn't a stadium tour, but the second time was straight up a stadium tour. So that was huge.
And how many? Do you know how many?
Where was it? Was it here?
Where was it? By the way.
The first one was in Citi Field.
Okay.
And the second one was in Soldier Field.
Okay, and how many American venues did they have booked on that tour? If you can estimate. True fan right here. She's probably really doing that.
Three states, and
Three
then
states?
they added 2 in each state, so let's say 6, and then they added the Citi Field one, which was a surprise. So very late in the end. I didn't think I was going to see this yet. So 7.
7.
And then the second time, I think it was 6. But they reduced the amount of cities they went to. Because in the past, they went to, like, Dallas.
Okay.
And they went to Atlanta. But the venues aren't big enough.
See what I'm saying?
So they changed it.
And on top of that,
yeah.
How many English songs do they have?
They have 1 song.
There you go.
That's in mostly English. BTS has a thing where they won't do a full
That's
release
what.
English
But it just
saying,
sounds
though?
good. I mean, if
you get what I'm saying though, like
you like it, you like it.
stadiums, 7 states in a different country.
Yeah.
I mean, we do that too. Like we have that where some people are big in different countries, but like this K-pop shit is happening.
Well, BTS doesn't want to. They didn't say we don't want to sell out, but they don't want to. They want to do K-pop. That's what they are. They're nothing else.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, like we'll release a song that's mostly in English, but there's gonna be Korean in it because we're Korean.
Exactly.
Like, that's what we do.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to just kind of like put it in there that like this is not as niche as you think as any of the viewers who don't really know about it is. So here we go. We're gonna hit up a video right now. So Girls' Generation G is the name of the song.
Yep, this was the biggest group or music video before Gangnam Style. Nothing really compares to Gangnam Style. In
Yes,
views,
it
though.
blew up. That's where everyone knew Korean people in that point. So
skipping the intro.
Okay, we're skipping the intro. We're going straight in. There's a lot of them. How many are there?
9.
8? 9?
They all look the same.
So
Oh no, never mind.
Bubblegum pop. It hurts.
You showed me this earlier.
I've never seen this.
I didn't like this.
I've never seen this. Hold on.
Oh, she's beautiful. Sorry.
She probably has surgery.
Probably. I mean, I'm not seeing anything any different, but you know what? They get the songs that are very catchy. Like that's the thing about pop music; it's always gonna hit that note, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, this group was probably one of the biggest groups at the time. They're known for being pretty girls. Yeah. I mean, because they were beautiful. I think they're pretty. You can say they all look alike, but you don't see a lot of Asians every day. So you can't really like. I understand when everyone says they look alike, because like honestly, you know what I look like. You're not gonna think like I look like every other Asian.
No.
But like if you just see a bunch of Asians, you never seen them before. Like yeah, you're gonna think they look alike.
You know what? I hate to say it. I had that same fucking thought in my head, like literally, like earlier today. I'm like looking at, because I was looking up, researching the suicide, unfortunately, and I was just like looking at. I'm like, man, I fucking can't decipher the girl that I'm looking at and the girl next to her that I'm looking at all. I'm like, am I fucking retarded? Like, I get it, like, but I'm like, holy shit,
their features are different. They're like these things that you're not used to. You know? And then there is a beauty standard that they're trying to hit.
Right, and I think a lot of
done with that video.
Yeah, we're done with that. But but it was. I mean, yeah, I got it. It was. It's
biggest out there.
It makes sense, but nine
members.
Why 9?
I think like
they don't want backup dancers. They don't want randos in there. They just want like that's it. You're all the like. What if you're known as? Remember the Pussycat Dolls? I feel like they had too many members.
Yo, I hate the Pussycat Dolls. Don't even get me started.
But it was like that one member, like the
Nicole
one
Scherzinger or something.
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
All that mattered.
She was all that mattered.
That's not a group.
But do you get what I'm saying? Imagine if you weren't her and you were in the Pussycat.
Man,
you weren't Nicole.
But like that's how like even.
I don't mean to shit on the Pussycat Dolls or any Pussycat Dolls fans out there, but that's what I was thinking.
Pussycat Dolls. Don't even worry about it. It's like how can you imagine? Why would you make a group and only make one person center? That's the whole point of K-pop. Like K-pop
So,
groups is
I
everyone
can't
has a
tell.
role.
But so everybody has a role in Girls' Generation?
Everyone has a role. in Girls'
9
Generation.
roles. That is a fucking ship.
Even if it's
That
just like
not only is it a ship, it must be a 15-minute song.
Right.
Like 9
Like-
people,
Better get my
they all
part
get
in.
solos.
Yeah.
kind of sub.
Get out of here.
They have subgroups. They do
Yeah.
have subgroups. So like within a group of Girls' Generation, they had TTS, which is the 3 main vocals, and they were.
What was it? Titties?
You just wanted to
TTS, which stands for 3 girls' initials put together.
Okay.
And
Oh, it's sperm.
this is sperm, super M. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
This
Super
This seems current.
This
This-
one, yeah, this
this
was a week
premiered-
ago.
Literally a week ago.
This was supposed to be big in America. Like, they took other members from different groups within the company. This is SM, the very business one.
Okay.
They took different members between the group,
And they made the Avengers.
made the Avengers. Like, exactly what they call it, though. They call it the Avengers.
Holy shit.
Whenever they do that, they call it the Avengers.
Oh, wow. Well, this music video helped my idea because they look all superhero-esque.
Wow, I kind of want to laugh already. Oh, it's all in English.
And it's English.
Yeah. Here you go.
Oh, good.
I just feel like they're acting trying to be so tough, but they're like super flamboyant.
I mean, they are dancing.
I mean, it's
You gotta make,
dance.
like, a stern, sexy face.
Oh, excuse. Oh, did Sonya did she just pop? Just she just couldn't hold it in, huh?
The song is called Jopping, and the chorus is we jumping, we popping, we jumping. Like, they explain it to you. Like,
Wow.
oh, this is what it.
They let us know what the slang word is, and they don't just let it happen.
Wow, it's kind of like cringy. This is the group where like everyone's supposed to be pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're all very
Beautiful, beautiful.
handsome dudes. Very smooth
Personally,
features.
actually, I don't like this song. I don't like this music video.
You don't like this at all, huh?
No, actually, it's like
Okay.
This is the. I mean, yeah, it's like it's a song. You can. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
you can bob to it, but
Okay.
it's so this sounds so manufactured to me. Maybe as a connoisseur.
It does.
Of K-pop.
Yeah.
It does.
Um,
I think that was a good example of sperm.
and then this
Sorry,
one-
you ruined it. I wasn't
Super
gonna. I
M.
did
It's
look at it and
fine.
see super M, but you said it. Now I'm not. Now I
kinda
cannot
only
unsee
see
it.
I can't tell if they were like trying to do like a Supreme kind of look. You know what I'm
It's called
saying?
SM Entertainment.
Right.
Super M. This is the super group of it.
Okay. Okay.
This one is
Sperm.
actually how you really know that SM is out here for the money.
Okay.
The concept at NCT,
Okay.
Is
So
that-
this is another group, even though they all look the same.
yeah. There's like 2 members that was in that other video. Because
Oh, okay.
But the concept of NCT is that they're going to take their trainees
Uh huh.
and rotate them. Sort of like that. Rotate
Right.
them in and
Well-
out of the group. So NCT 127 will never be the same. So,
It makes sense though, because that type of shit is what gets people. Like people love crossovers, and like love like different like rotation of like, oh, I love this. And just even because it might not even be your favorite member, but the fact that it was a member from your favorite group, and if it's in another group, you're like, oh yeah,
but sometimes your favorite member is going to get benched.
really?
Because there's like, what, 40 members? Also, NCT will have, is NCT, there's NCT like
Hop at the
China?
coop.
So it's wavy. So they're gonna like go China. They're gonna make one for Indonesia. Represent. My mom's gonna watch it.
Oh, nice.
But so they're gonna be singing like Indonesian. Like they're truly banking it. This group.
Wow.
And I left it.
Okay.
And
Can I ask you a question?
yeah, let's get it.
So, do these groups end up having a lot of drama within their band or whatever? Because I feel like
Most
a
of
bunch
the
of
time-
flamboyant men, like
Right.
8 flamboyant men,
Right.
like
They
being
wanna
mad
sell the
dramatic.
idea
Like,
that this group is like a family, and that like they couldn't imagine.
but you know, they be tweeting like, "Oh, this dude is."
No, they,
No.
honestly, you're an idol. You have to be a perfect being. You're someone to idolize.
Impossible.
So they don't say things that are wrong most of the time.
You really believe that?
If you have your people be the best who they to be. Like, the goal is that they're not going to say something bad. They're only going to say good things to each other. They're only going to be good people because only good people should be idolized.
I mean, I get it. I get it to a degree. Like, I would never go for that because I know
I would just lose. Like, I would lose it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I would lose
think
it.
Think of the type of person who wants that.
Yeah.
So not everybody wants that. Some people want it for the fame and the fortune and all that, but they kind of like make it apparent from the get-go how much work and effort, and you're going to kind of be like, and then they're like, they probably hit that, this is the way you're supposed to be perceived early on. So you probably like right away, it's like, you do know that's a prerequisite, that you have to be like, good-hearted person and
honestly,
a nice.
Can't have any drug scandals. No.
Right.
Bullying scandals. No. Dating scandals. I hope not.
Yo.
Because a lot of them will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm 23 and I never had a girlfriend." I'm like, "Oh, you're lying, but like it's cute." Like, sell the idea that your first kiss will be with a 16-year-old fan. No, it's fine. Because they want it. That's part of it too. Is that you're supposed to look at some of the idols as, that could be my boyfriend, that could be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so you don't want them to be dating. This one, the
Okay.
YG group.
Okay.
This group is YG's known for
what
their
did it say?
hip
Big
hop.
Bang? Big Bang?
This is Big Bang, 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 Bang.
Bang Bang Bang.
Bang, Bang, Bang.
And that's the name of the group?
Mm-hmm.
Bang Bang.
This group is actually super big. It's probably not their biggest music video. I think it's Fantastic Baby, but it's their more recent one that's super big. I kind of want to bop to it though.
I kind of like it.
Some of their outfits are dope.
Yeah, they got that.
I mean, that car is dope.
Dude was looking like an English soldier.
But honestly, if you look at their music videos, they're supposed to be extra. I mean, even from this dude has long hair that goes down to like the ground.
These look like the bad boys.
So
They're definitely playing off like a bad boy thing a little bit more than the other ones were.
yeah, this is the company.
This guy looks like a cartoon character.
that's known.
He's got his hair all in his eyes. He looks like that.
He
what's
has
his
no
name?
eyes.
Oh, actually, don't be mean about that because they kind of did that because he's kind of not pretty.
Oh, they covered his face.
So they covered his face.
Oh, I was thinking of, you ever watch Kids Next Door?
Kids next door. Oh, number 4. Number 4. No.
Oh man, look at this guy.
That guy, G-Dragon, huge. G-Dragon's huge. He just came back from the military. The group's kind of dead though, because really bad scandals.
Oh shit, flamethrowers and everything in this music video. They ain't going all out.
Bang, bang, bang. Okay, I hate the chorus.
I like the breakdown of that.
But yeah, that group,
Super dramatic. Love
their
it.
company is the party company.
I was gonna say, what company was that one?
YG. That's a hip hop party company. YG had to step down recently. He was in a prostitution scandal because prostitution's super illegal there.
Damn.
And
Like he was the prostitute. Nah, I'm just playing.
Hey,
yeah,
you
have you
never
ever
know.
seen him? He always wears like the same hat. It's kind of like, I can't make the joke. It's hard.
So what happened?
He's hot, but like he's really not. It kind of hurt me.
Yikes.
Oh.
But yeah, so that group, Big Bang, was super big, but it's probably disbanded because the youngest member, while everyone else was in like the army, was revealed to be in a not only prostitution scandal.
Like they were prostituted out?
Prostitution's illegal in Korea. And they
Right,
just
but
had
are
so
they
many.
the Marks? Or are they
Yeah.
the Johns?
Oh man.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
That's
They
what I'm saying.
hired
Like,
prostitutes.
oh, they hired
So
prostitutes.
many. But it's like,
Why? They're
yo, same.
pop
Because
stars.
like, there's so many girls that's like willing to sleep with them, right?
When you said that, I automatically my brain.
mean,
went
yeah,
to,
that's what
like,
I said,
getting
that-
hookered out, like
But-
it's like,
No, it's kind
to
of
like rich
That's-
moguls
it's
who
kind
like
of-
want the little pretty boy, you know?
crazy freaks. Because he was in, he's probably gonna go to jail soon with this other guy. Because this other guy's name is.
You know what though? This is my theory. I'm just kidding. Sorry, but I'm thinking them getting prostitutes. The reason why they would is because if you just do any fan, it's gonna get out.
That's true.
And if you're maintaining like a thing,
Yeah.
So it's like either I don't do anything or I get a hooker and at least maybe I'm guaranteed like not because it's super illegal that nothing will go out.
So then he's just like straight up a bad person.
Now that makes sense.
And he was part of a phone chat group where this one guy was having sex with women, drugging them, basically raping women, recording it, and then just sending it up to the pals and like, hey, you need new material? I got you.
I guess scumbags are everywhere. It doesn't
truly Sungri, Sunyi, whatever, however you're supposed to pronounce it.
How do those people not get struck by lightning? How come I'm the one that gets struck by lightning? Like, what the heck?
This, on the other hand, these girls.
Oh, here, go back to a girl group.
Back to a girl group. Gotta keep it moving here.
Yeah. I only have 978 million views.
Yes, probably the most views for a group.
Probably the most views I've ever seen ever. I've never seen it, so we're.
This is awesome.
Gabby.
Oh no! All right. Blackpink, do.
They'll sing the chorus for you.
Oh, they even told me who they were really quick.
Skipping it. Oh yeah.
This is same. This is from the hip hop company.
Yes.
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 I can tell now. Holy shit! I'm learning.
Yeah. Usually companies have a very strong vibe to it.
Right.
So yeah, this is it. 3 of the members can speak English.
Okay.
So they're doing good overseas. She's the only one that can't, but she's very pretty.
Yeah.
So, they're just out here.
It's all about the drop for these K-pop songs, man. They hit that shit hard. They're like especially this company. They're like, we just gotta hit them with the drop.
Here hip hop videos have thick women. Over there, hip hop videos have sticks. Sticks.
They're so skinny.
So
the tiny waist. The proportions are like always super, super skinny.
Yeah.
You know what they need? They need some arroz. Con gandules.
And some
pernil.
And while I did
and
say
aguacate.
And some tostones. And some...
See.
And let it go to the hips.
That's it. That's all you need.
But,
shout out my wife. She thick.
Different group. This is the half air sound, guys.
Oh, okay, great. So awesome. So this is a different company.
Different company. This is Twice.
So this is the third company that we're seeing. So the first one was the very manufacturer one, and I definitely sound it. This hip hop one, I think I like the second company so far.
Okay.
Just because they do really good drops.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They got bops out there.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the biggest girl group.
I can't wait to hear the air sound because I still don't know what that means.
They dominate in charts and sales probably more than half, maybe like 75% of all girl groups. So like even this girl group doesn't make as much money as this girl group for their company.
Wow.
How many are they?
They're called
Twice.
Twice.
They were made through a show. Like they had a show background where like you saw the members like
how
perform
thematic.
and
It's all
stuff.
Halloween beginning. It's
yeah,
cute.
this is actually a Halloween like music video.
Oh, how appropriate.
I'm skipping it once again.
Here we go.
I actually don't know what the chorus is because I don't.
I like the little. I feel like it's like watching a little short film.
Yeah.
This is it. Are they gonna do it?
Why are there so
I love how
many
they
of
all
them?
have to fucking come up with a dance.
You know,
I don't hear the air part.
Without the lyrics, I would have thought they said "suck my titty,"
Oh no.
but
No,
the lyrics help.
but then you saw that they didn't have it, and you're like,
Because
"Nah,
in
that's
the
not what you
dance,
said."
they're also like titty, and they're like
They're
pointing,
saying T, and they're making T symbols with their hands.
pointing at
they
their
know.
boobs.
You figured it out.
This though,
You found out the subliminal.
I will tell you guys, not a fan of this genre of K-pop music. I don't like it when it's too bubblegum.
Yeah.
I kind of want that bass drop where I feel like I'm gonna like party out.
Yeah, that's why I like that other company.
They're
But
stuck
I still didn't
in.
hear the airy thing that you were talking. I wish you had an example of that.
I don't.
That's
Maybe
fine.
This one.
That's
They're
fine.
gonna-
If it happens, it happens. Let's keep it.
This one is the rock group. This is actually the group I just saw in Miami.
So they're a rock group.
They're a rock group.
Okay, so we got. This is gonna be a huge video roundup, by the way. So be prepared. But it's very intriguing. But the amount of views, I'm surprised nobody's already seen all this.
They're not as popular as the rest of their groups.
Oh, there we go. Yo, what's with them and guns? The bang bang and pew pew and like everything.
Dun dun and did and fa fa.
Right.
Dude, the other songs by them, they're not as like hype. They actually write a lot of like sad songs.
Okay.
I chose this one because it had the most views. But this one, as you can tell, 28 million views.
Can they actually play instruments? Because they're
They play
in
it
the
live.
video, they're not actually playing.
No, they play it like I saw them.
Okay.
They play it live. I've seen.
Good.
I saw them mess up.
No,
Live.
they look like they know.
I saw them
And they don't look
freestyle
like they fuck
live.
around. Like they actually.
Well,
train.
earlier the bass player was like,
Well,
it didn't. It was,
well, the
I was
music
like,
video,
whoa.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You
Don't
know.
come at Young K. He's the one that writes his music.
Oh, see.
No, that's
He
fine.
writes and produces like pretty much everything.
He's the hardest.
I'm not
worker.
coming at no one. It's just in the video,
I'm
he
like,
was
oh, man.
like,
He's
Well,
my
he wasn't doing what a
That's my
bass
boy.
player does.
Well, because he's music videoing right now.
It's true. You gotta look pretty.
All right.
So I saw them.
Okay. There we go.
This is a newer group.
Stray Kids.
Stray Kids.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I think they debuted a year ago or 2 years ago, and
Okay.
they probably have like 9 mini albums out. Like they have produced and released a lot of music,
What the
which
hell?
kind of shows you how competitive it is now.
Is this, and what company is this one?
It's still JYP. This is
Okay.
the last of the JYP I will show you guys.
Okay.
And this is gonna be Stray Kids.
I'm not feeling the JYPs.
This is my favorite. I think
We'll
it's more
find out.
like I'm. That's just me saying. that.
JYP Entertainment presents.
Oh man.
Right
I miss
away.
it. Back in the day where
Oh no. What happened? Oh.
he like made it, JYP himself. In the beginning of every video, he would go like, JYP.
Oh no.
I miss it so much. I was like,
Oh God. That's like,
can you play? Don't
what's happening?
let
Okay.
me look bad.
This song's called Miro.
Miro.
Oh.
It stands for a city jungle. Their songs are about like motivation.
What am I looking at? What does that guy look like?
Oh my god. I don't know. Like
There's a bunch of
Someone
members
I
in
need
this
to
one
know.
too.
their dance that they're doing is like a traditional haka.
Okay.
So they're doing like a traditional dance.
Yeah. But it just doesn't look right because they don't look like they're from an island. They look like.
I mean, 2 of them are Australian.
Oh.
Yeah.
That, is
I think
that-
that's why they did
Is
it.
that an island? Is Australia an island? Oh, here we go. The little breakdown's really hard. Ooh. Okay. I mean, they got great beats.
The only why this one is different is like that guy in the middle right there.
Yeah.
He basically chose this group. He was part of the company for 6 years.
Yeah.
He writes like most of the music, and he chose the other members to be in the group with him because JYP gave him the say so, which is honestly something that doesn't happen in K-pop, because usually it's like selected by like JYP to be a well-rounded group. It kind of is. They kind of have a lot of rappers, so like the singing is hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
This
my
is
favorite.
interesting. I think we have to end it with your favorite band, though.
I like that.
Okay. So, this is Sonia's most favorite. You're going to show me a video from your favorite band.
Okay. All right.
Her favorite. You have it up there, don't you?
I do. Oh
You
my
did.
God, I lied.
Yeah, it's up
I
there.
thought I had this. Oh man, which one did I do? Maybe my
Okay.
favorite one? Or Or do I do like the most hype one for the viewers?
Well, whichever one that makes you happy, because you do have your favorite, and why are they your favorite after all the samey shit that you just showed us?
BTS. I literally stayed up all night to watch them debut.
Okay, okay.
So I saw them debut. I saw them transition from a
She's invested.
hip hop group,
Oh, okay.
which was honestly kind of bad. If you think of them as a hip hop group, they changed
Okay.
their style to youth. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah,
So
it
they
does make
changed it
sense.
to a youth style. They got more popular. I'm gonna just do this one because I think this is the one that made them like a lot more popular in like Korea.
Yeah.
So this is the one that's kind of like made everyone like them.
Got
That's
it.
what I think it is. And then from there, they only got bigger in like the U.S.
Okay.
This one has a lot of sexy dancing though. So
Oh,
boys,
lucky
I'm
me.
so sorry.
Can't wait to see these boys shake it.
Like they're gonna grab their crotch a few times, but we're just
Michael
gonna
Jackson did
Never
that.
seen that before.
deal with it. That's my favorite memory.
Oh, look at these sexy boys. Well, they do sound different. Oh, and the company is
They're from I Big Hit.
and what's
Big
that?
Hit.
What's that one?
They're not. They were never a big company.
So
And
they're
they
not a part of a
probably-
big company?
Because of this group alone, made it top. Maybe, probably gonna break into number 3 into the top 3.
Oh.
But they only really have this group. They only released another group maybe last year. So this group has been making the sales for the entire company to beat out like all the smaller companies.
There you go.
Just feeling it.
It's Spanish music, bro. It's reggaeton.
It's kind of like a reggaeton thing, right? Dun, 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 dun.
It's reggaeton.
Yeah, this is reggaeton.
Yes.
Hell yeah! You,
Es
I'm
reggaetón,
glad
entonces
you
escucha
said that. I
Japón,
thought about it. I was
pon.
like, there's something in this that's making me move.
We'll
All
keep
right,
making
and there it
you
is.
do that.
Wow. I feel educated. I feel like I know.
Like you're in love with them.
Thank you, Sonya.
Not at all. Not. I mean, I
Okay, different vibes.
I won't seek it out,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand 100% why they are popular, and so with that being said, I think you've achieved your goal of making me understand the
Well done.
obsession
Cheers.
of your problem.
I talked so
Yeehaw.
much today.
You are understood now.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. But I think that's a good place to end it. And that sorry. And that, folks, was your video round.
Round them up.
Roundup.
Real quick.
Go for
Shout
it.
out Aspen for
Oh yeah.
all the info.
Yeah. Shout out to Aspen.
And
She,
shout
made
out
me
to
a
Faye.
whole PowerPoint, everyone.
I think you delivered. I think you delivered strongly. I think you argued your argument, which was no argument at all. It was just I feel more informed about how this all works and just trying to parallel it to American music producing, which I also have no knowledge in, but in the sense to make it all make sense. But yeah, it's there, talent's there. All of it has its musics, and it just it's interesting, and I can totally understand and see how anybody would be interested in this. And there's levels. I think that's what makes anything. I think
Yeah.
that's what defines a fandom is levels, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no? Because it's not just like, oh, this is it. It's like, no, it's never just that. It's never just that. You can't just be into Spider-Man. You got to be like, but did you not see the cartoon? What about those toys? What about this? What about that?
Well, everything they do
Same
is
thing.
built to create a fandom.
Yeah.
They have official fan names, they have official fan cafes, they have official fan clubs.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Like everything is built for you to obsess over.
Yeah.
And so if you like
It's
it
part of culture, you
and
know?
you
Yeah.
want to be into it, they're
Yeah.
like, I have everything for you.
Yeah.
Ready.
Huh.
Buy my merchandise.
Nice.
Pay to be in this club. Done.
Damn.
Get the monies.
And
I feel more knowledgeable. It's good. I think that's a good episode. Orville, any last words? Any
Don't
comments?
be silly. Wrap your willy.
Sonya, any other further things you'd like to shout out to anybody?
I'd like to do a shout out for BTS. I hope one day you'll notice me. Maybe listen to this podcast.
Yo, if BTS listens to this podcast, yo,
you made it.
I fucks with you.
That's all I have to say. Notice me, senpai.
People, it's been
Notice
great.
me.
It's been fun. It's been fun and great. So, remember everybody, follow those signs. They're all around. And always remember, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals, signs all around. We talk a lot of junk, yeah, you vibing with us now. Build something from the ground up, yeah, we like to clown. Talk about some real stuff, yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us, wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking, that we bust it. Put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing, still bring it to the public. Y'all, don't feed the animals, put them in a cage. They couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room. Can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you. I'm with the show, yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrities, snatch a toy from your cereal. Don't feed the animals.